Today's video is inspired by a few different comments that I've gotten, but most specifically from a subscriber who goes by Evan M's Art, who's been asking that I do Transformers as Kaiju. And I like that idea, especially because we've got Rise of the Beasts coming soon, and I'm very excited for that. But I also kinda wanted to work with some other giant robots from other franchises as well. Also, since it's been a hot minute since our last one, I decided that this is a banter episode. Narrated by our Kaiju slayer, Heath Hurricane Reynolds, as well as good old Benny Sharp, the mech maker, and bundle of joy and sunshine, Dr. Champagne McGreggor. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's go.
Hit like if you want, subscribe if you feel like, but either way, enjoy the show.
And I built that big ol' mech armor there so that it could split up into a bunch of smaller mech armors, then reattach and keep on fighting. Well, that's pretty impressive, Benny. How long did it take you to make that thing? Let's not talk about that. If we get into timelines and stuff, really nothing I build ever actually makes sense. Oh, hey, there's Heath. Yo, Hurricane, over here, you beautiful mountainless goon. Oh, hey, Benny. Dr. Champagne. Jeez, you really is like a mountain, ain't you? Practically a bleeding kaiju yourself. Except a lot friendlier than most of them, I hope. Although I did just get back from teaming up with a kaiju. Still takes some time for me to get used to that. Working with them and not against them. Always feels a little odd even if I've been doing it a while. What, you mean there's good big beasties here too? How do you tell them apart from the bad ones? Usually the ones not stomping on people and smashing buildings are the friendlies. Though the one I was fighting with did just do some pretty serious property damage. We call it Danger Bolt. Big blue beastie of about 260 feet tall. A lot smarter than the average kaiju too. Sorta on account of it having two brains. Sometimes it seems like it's smarter than most people even, which would make sense, I guess, on account of it having two brains. Well, in a way, humans sorta have more than one brain as well. The blood pump in our chest here has got the intrinsic cardiac nervous system. Got 40,000 sensory neurites in there that send more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. Ah, that's pretty interesting. Sometimes I forget that you're a doctor. But ain't it usually your role during these conversations to just get really irritated or frustrated when it turns out you realize whatever we're talking about, a dragon, a kaiju, a mech armor or something, is real similar to something out of pop culture, video games or movies or something in your universe? Don't worry, I'm sure we'll get there soon. Give it a couple minutes. Go on. Right, well, Danger Bolt actually seems like it can empathize with people. When it started seeing civilians in pain, it eventually stopped smashing down cities and started fighting back against other kaiju that did that. Now it even works with us and can follow orders. To a point, anyway. Doesn't always like to do what it's told. Likes to go against the grain, but at least it's still working with us, and sometimes its ideas seem even better than what we got. Oh, I like the sound of that. Rebel with some big claws. Assuming this thing has got some big claws, right? I mean, it's a kaiju, most of them do, right? A lot of them do, yeah. This one included. It's got these weirdly sort of constructed hands with 4 claws surrounding a big hole in its palm, where it can charge up plasma bolts that it shoots out to tear holes in other kaiju. Now, not to be that guy, but by plasma bolt, do you actually mean plasma? I feel like folks is always throwing around that term for any kind of weird sci-fi energy beam thing. So was this actual plasma or just some glowing ball of lightning? No, electricity from the kaiju's claws superheats a gas that forms in its palm, ionizing the atoms to make a genuine plasma bolt. Oh, well, thought I was gonna be the smart guy of this conversation, but guess you got that covered. That's what I get for being pretentious, I guess. Don't worry, Doc. I only know that because a while ago I was calling any sparking lightning attack thing a plasma bolt, and my buddy Nia called me out on it and told me what plasma actually is. Just turns out the Danger Bolt does shoot the genuine article. But that ain't this thing's only offensive weapon. Wait, this thing's got offensive weapons? Like Hitler's gun or a racist hammer or something? That's not what I meant by offensive, Benny. The thing has sharp blades on its tail that can wave around freely, or it can tighten up the muscles in the tip of its tail to form together into a sturdy, jagged sword. Why? Blue kaiju shoots plasma bolts from its hands, got a wiggly sword thing, and danger in its name? I see what's happening here. You're saying that kaiju is like a giant robot from a movie in your world where giant robots fight kaiju? Yeah, surprisingly good movie too. the first one anyway, but that director lost me lately. Ever since that movie he made about a lady doing some toe curling with a fish, too much for me, but he ended up winning an Oscar for that one, weirdly enough. What? Some guy in your universe won an Oscar for making a movie about a gal getting freaky with a fish? And you think my universe is weird? Anyway, we figured we might run into you while we was here, Heath. Was just showing Champ some of the mech armors I done built for your pals. We was just on to Destroy Omega over there. Oh yeah, that thing is still going pretty strong. You done good with that one, Sharp. But speaking of it, funny enough, we actually found a kaiju a while back that can split up into smaller kaiju, like how that can split up into smaller mechs. Alright, I'm playing a game with this one. I'm gonna guess that whatever you're talking about is gonna be like a Megazord kaiju or Voltron kaiju. What's its name?
Well, we call it Lycanvolt, so I...
Blatant nailed it. Volt in the name, it's gotta be a Voltron kaiju. Wait, Lycanvolt? Where's the Lycan part come from?
Well, all the smaller kaiju that form together to make it sort of look like wolves, hence Lycan.
Oh, well that's kinda weird. For it to be like Voltron from my world, it would have to have been like a bunch of lions that came together, not wolves. Maybe vehicles, I guess, if it was based on the one that nobody liked. You got a kaiju that's a bunch of lions coming together like that too?
Not that I know of.
Huh, that's kinda weird. Maybe the person who designed this kaiju is the overseer of this world, and he made it thinking it was gonna be like Voltron from your world, but he's a real big dumb dummy who didn't do his research before designing the thing, so he forgot that Voltron is a bunch of lions instead of a bunch of wolves, and only realized after he was done designing the thing and was on to writing the script.
Wait, I'm lost, and I'm pretty sure my world doesn't have an overseer anymore. What are you talking about, Benny?
Don't worry about him, he's having one of his moments. I've just been calling it his fourth wall-itis. He thinks he's in a comic book or something. Anyway, tell us about this sort of maybe Voltron thing.
Alright, well, Lycanvolt's got a ton of abilities when it forms up, but it's most known for shapeshifting. Obviously, it can transform its 5 smaller parts into one bigger kaiju, but it can also grow swords and blades and cannons all across different parts of its body. It also sprouts wings in its singular form. Like Dangerbolt, this thing wasn't always on our side, but now that it is, it's a pretty legendary defender.
Oh, come on, you serious?
Luckily, it never formed up as one unit before it was on our side. See, there was this gal named Allura who was some super rich chick whose whole city had been wiped out by kaiju in the early kaiju attacks, and she'd survived by being in her bunker with her assistant. A while later, just outside her city, she found a couple of the wolf kaiju scrapping with each other, and she managed to calm them down and then even train them. She then realized they were looking for something and helped them track down the other wolves.
It still makes no bleeding sense that these things is wolves when everything else you're saying is basically Voltron references.
Well, anyway, that's pretty much the story. Last I heard, Allura was trying to get the thing to help her take down this kaiju called Zarkalra. She might have done it already, I don't know. To be honest, I haven't checked in on that whole situation in a long time. A lot of kaiju stuff happening around the world, and I can't always keep up with all of it.
Quick interruption to say that all the art from this episode will be available as posters on the PopCross Studios Teespring store and linked in the description. Plus, there's lots of other stuff on the Teespring store, like this sweater, and my brand new bundle of inks, PopCross Bundle of Inks Volume 7, which has 90 inks for $9 American, including dragons, monsters, superheroes, demons, all from the last couple of months' videos on this channel. But if you want access to that ink bundle, as well as all of my other ones, and even the inks from this episode, you might want to consider joining the PopCross Studios Patreon, because high-resolution art and inks go up a day before a video goes out. Plus, there's a bonus podcast series on there. All that stuff will be linked in the description, but for now, back into more art. Let's go!
So, wait, Heath, does you use one of these big mech armors Benny built too?
No, they're for other kaiju slayers. I just use my powers and wail on them myself.
So, wait, you just, jump up and punch giant kaiju in the face then?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
Wow, that's pretty cool actually, I like that. So, how many of them is actually friendly? Is that a pretty rare thing?
Kinda, but it seems like more good ones are just popping up lately, and more of the bad ones are starting to turn good. We actually just found a whole group of helpful kaiju that are roaming around fighting some of the bad kaiju together. They're like a weird troop of sorta human-animal hybrid kaiju. Their leader is this big gorilla-like beastie with twin bone blades that pop out of armored plating on its forearms. Team's got a cheetah-like kaiju and a rhino thing and a weird little rat one that, for some reason, I think Benny would actually like the most.
Why would a rhino or cheetah take orders from a big ol' monkey? Rhinos and cheetahs are some of the coolest animals out there. No offense to monkeys. Gorillas ain't monkeys, Benny, they're apes. Potatoes, tomatoes.
No, I'm on Team Champagne with this one. Apes don't have tails, and neither does this thing. Definitely a gorilla, and not a monkey. What it does have is opposable toes, giant arms, and armor-plated shoulders. Its eyes are a smoky green, and by that I literally mean its eyes are sometimes smoking with green glowing mist.
There's anything from your old champ? Ringing any bells here?
Oh, I think so, yeah, but this whole shtick of me getting upset about it is getting old, so for today I'm just gonna stop and listen.
Alright, well, we call the leader Prime Optimal. He was first spotted by this truck driver who was on a long-haul drive and came across this purple T-Rex kaiju sort of thing that was about to smash him up. The thing got close enough to do some serious damage to the guy's hull. But before it could totally take out his truck, Prime Optimal and its kaiju allies stomped onto the scene and fought the thing off. The driver was even brave enough to get out and do his best to thank the kaiju before riding back down his route.
Wait, riding down his route, riding the monkey or the beat-up truck?
Truck, not monkey. I mean, ape, gorilla, it's not a monkey, Sharp.
But you can confirm he was not riding the monkey.
Ape, and no, his hull was trashed, but the truck still drove okay, apparently. Eventually, he reported what happened to him. Some kaiju slayers learned about it and tracked down the kaiju to confirm that they were actually on our side. Luckily, it did turn out to be true. Most of the kaiju in this troop aren't on the bigger end, but they're pretty tough fighters all the same. Prime Optimal is real agile and can scale buildings to get the drop on other kaiju from above. Funny enough, this thing isn't actually the only helpful gorilla kaiju out there either. There's one that I call Abominape that lives out in Nepal and has actually fought off some other kaiju itself.
Ah, okay, so the moral of the story is monkey kaiju all seem to be good guys.
Well, I wouldn't say all of them, but they're not monkeys, Sharp.
You know, I gotta say, it's kinda funny seeing someone else get frustrated with Benny's antics for once, and I'm pretty content sitting on the sidelines still.
Well, I might have to tap you into whatever this game is. I can't really stay in chat much longer. Gotta rest up after my fight and get ready for some more kaiju slaying tomorrow.
Hey, if you walk away now, good old Benny Shop officially wins our classic game of ape versus monkey.
Alright, I can live with that, Sharp. You two have a good time.
Alright then, we'll see you later. Yup, I won that one. Monkey.
You're a weird, fun little clown, Benny. Now show me more of the mech armors you made in an ambiguous amount of time.
I'm gonna be honest, while I do think there is some really cool stuff in here, I think my last Kaiju episode from over a year ago, My Hero Academia characters as Kaiju, might actually still be a bit better. If you like my Kaiju videos, you might want to go back to that and check it out. Or you might like my recent Godzilla Monsters as Dragons Part 2 episode. Also, give me more suggestions for things you'd like to see turned into Kaiju, because I do want to take another crack at this sometime soon. But besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or inspiring note. And the thought I want to leave people with today is a mantra used by a man named Jason Goldberg, who likes to remind himself, I only engage with helpful thoughts. Unhelpful ones will come, but I do not engage with them. I think that's even just a good reminder that you're probably never going to get a point where your mind gives you no negative thoughts, but those will only really negatively impact you if you actually ruminate in them and stay with them, instead of choosing to engage with the more positive thoughts, which will also come. I hope that's inspiring. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next episode on Friday. Goodbye.